Good morning, one and all, dear participants. Today, in this third session, we are going to discuss about tour brochure designing. So, as of now, in the basic session, in the basic FDP and in the advanced FDP, we have seen how to design an itinerary, how to make the negotiations, and how to finally create the itinerary. But now, tour brochure designing is one of the very important part in order to sell it. So it is not just about putting the photos or printing the itinerary on the pages, beautiful pages, but it is all about how to what are the aspects which you have to show, and which are the aspects which you want to keep it for afterwards. So to explain this topic, to give a lecture on this topic, we have with us Ms. Shalu Singh ma'am, with 12 years of experience with startups and established companies. Ma'am holds a bachelor degree in commerce and PG in tourism management. She has also completed certification on women entrepreneurship from IIM Bangalore. She's doing her PhD on startup ecosystems and business models and strategy of startups in tourism industry. In her 12 years of industry experience, she has been associated with the companies like Make My Trip, Cox and Kings, Diwan Holidays, and her specializations are in sales, operations, product development, and contracting. Currently, she is working as assistant professor in the tourism department of Garden City University, Bangalore. She has published multiple papers, research articles in reputed journals. Her academic interest lies in areas like business model, strategy, and travel agencies, role of marketing and social media in tourism industry, destination planning, role of VCs and incubators in tourism startups. So I request you, ma'am, to start your lecture.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, I would like to thanks to IGN University for having me here and giving me opportunity to contribute for ATAL FDP. Special thanks to Dr. Prashant and Dr. Rohit for the flawless coordination from the day one, from the day I got the invite. So thank you once again for giving me this opportunity. So today's topic, as sir has already mentioned, the travel brochure design, which is a very, very important topic in travel and tourism domain itself. So here in this session, you will understand the planning part, the strategy part, and the customer segment in terms of developing, in terms of designing the travel brochure. So it will not help you as a professional, but as a personal also, it's going to give you kind of insight, because we have both the aspect. We see ourselves as a customer, and from the other side, we are the professionals, those who belongs to travel and tourism industry. So before I'll go into a detail, let me just take up the slides. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So agenda and the topics which I'm going to cover in today's session is what is travel brochure is all about. I'm not going to talk about the definition side, that I believe all of us are aware on that, but little more on the technical side and little from the professional side, that what has to be there in the travel brochure from the perspective of a reader, which is our travelers. The second agenda, or the second point, the skill set which is required when we are designing, developing, planning, and finally when we are implementing our travel brochure. The third point says, or the third agenda you can talk about, who uses the travel brochure, the ultimate end user of the travel brochures. Components of travel brochure, the things which we should include, should not forget when we designing, developing the travel brochure. Need of travel brochure. It's a huge investment. We consider as one of the promotional or the marketing tool. So why there is a need and to invest so much when we design the various kind of travel brochures, design of travel brochure, and the last agenda in that session is marketing of travel brochure, which says how we can go about the travel brochure into different market, into a different segments. So let's start with today's session. I hope it'll enlighten your thoughts somewhere. Okay, so when we talk about what we sell, so that's the general questions to all of you. What do we sell? We sell travel package, or we sell hotel room nights, or we sell the airline seats. What exactly we sell as a travel professionals or a tourism professional or as experts? We don't sell holiday, travel package, vacations, leisure packages. Little bit confused. Then what exactly we sell? Are we selling happy faces, smiling on the people? Or are we selling the imaginations? What exactly we are selling? The answer is here, experience. I will take you way back in 2004 when I joined the industry. And I fortunate myself that I started my career with Cox and Kings. So the day I still remember the first day when I holding the travel brochure was the travel brochure of Dunia Dekho. So Cox and Kings, they used to have two kind of segments in terms of the brochure. One is Bharat Dekho and one is Dunia Dekho. We know that they are no longer existing in the travel professional industry, but those were the time when they were the top shot in travel and tourism domain. So what we sell experience. So the minute I hold the Dunia Dekho, which talks about the word, destination or worldwide destination, the minute I was seeing on the Alps of Switzerland and the various architecture of the European destination, the day itself we started experiencing ourselves as a traveler, that's the destination I would prefer to go, or that's the destination I want to go with my family, friends, whoever. What is the next thing which comes as a traveler with us? How I can go about it? But it is there in our mind. But the beauty of the good and excellent travel brochure, the question is there in your head, but already answers are there in your travel brochure. So the minute you are turning the page, process is written over here. What is the next thing as a traveler we are thinking? The affordability, the price which we are going to pay when we are using all those services. The price is already mentioned in the travel brochure. So that's the experience from the time when we are handing over our travel brochures to our respective traveler, or for person, you can call it in a layman language, the reader who's going to read that travel brochure. So always remember, when we are designing, when we are developing, when we are curating our travel brochure, is something we are developing certain kind of belief, certain kind of experience for the person who is going to take up the vacation from your respective travel agency or from your respective businesses. So as I said, these are the some of the travel brochure. As I said, I'm not going to talk about what is the definition of travel brochure, but I'm going to talk about more from the traveler perspective, and from more as a professionals, the things which we should keep in our mind when we are designing and when we are rolling out our travel brochures to our target audience. Now, I'm keeping this slide for a while. I want all of you to just look at this travel brochure and just write your points, what you're thinking by seeing this travel brochure. I'm just keeping for a while. I just want you to go through with this travel brochure and write your understanding from the traveler perspective, not from the designer perspective as a professional, from the reader perspective. You're liking it, you're not liking it, whatever. It's completely up to your understanding. Then I'll proceed to the next one. Just keep your responses with you. We will come back. Can I proceed to the next slide? Rohit sir, if you can just notify.
Yes,
Can I
ma'am.
proceed to the next
Sure.
slide? Huh? I hope the people have taken
Yes,
down
please.
their key points. Yeah. This is the next travel brochure. That also I'm keeping for a while. Just a glance, just a glance. So comparatively in both the brochure 1 and brochure 2. I got some of the responses that it is too congested. It is too many informations are there. Look at the multiple colors involved in this travel brochure. Look at the too much information is given on the first page itself. The different font sizes, too much information. Even if I have to see the pricing, I have to roll out my eyes everywhere, right? Isn't it? But when I'm going to this travel brochure, which is relatively for me, the 2, 3 information which is required, the picture of a destination, if you have wanted to travel to the Paris, the price is written over here. The number whom I have to contact, it's right in front of my eyes. The various other destinations which are clubbed together, the Paris, all this informations are there. Even the booking email ID on the number is also there. The company logo is also there. The tagline of amazing tour travel. These are the superlative adjective which is essential when we are developing a travel package. So what I'm trying to say, this is not the best travel package. If you feel that this is the best or the previous one is the bad package, there is no good and bad. What I'm talking about from the perspective of a traveler, the information which they require, the minute they are seeing your package, your brochure, they should get the basic understanding after seeing this information, whatever you're rolling out through your travel brochure. Now, that's the statement. I really liked it. Your travel brochure should have a capability in terms of influence the emotion, attitude, belief of the reader. Now, who's the reader here? We as a traveler, we are the reader of this travel brochure. So the minute I'm holding the travel brochure in my hand, I should feel, yeah, this is the place I want you to travel. And these are the people, they are giving me understanding with this travel brochure. I'll just share with one of the incident when we were working with Make My Trip. So there was a one elderly couple, they came and we were selling that time Europe package. And we have exclusive package of Europe, Southeast Asia. And because there is a specific timing for each and every destination. So that elderly couple, they came, they said, how come you are able to talk about so much in detail to all the staff, those who were sitting at the counter? All of you have traveled to all the destinations, European destination, which is not ideally possible, right? Company will not afford so much to send everybody. So we showed the travel brochure to that elderly couple and we said, this is our Bible. And this is something which we are by heart, we are understanding which is there. And in the same fashion, we are trying to narrate in a story way, in an experience way to our respective clientele or our customer. So as I said, your travel brochure should give a kind of confidence, more than that, the belief that if I'm taking these products, these services, which is available in this travel brochure, my travel vacation is secured. I'm not going to get any kind of trouble henceforth, because that's what the belief and that's what the confidence you are inculcating in your respective clientele. So remember the power of the travel brochure. And still in India, the majority of clientele or the traveler are believe on the print media, where we have the travel brochure is one of the key area which is required when we are selling us products and services. Moving forward, now as we discuss need of travel brochure, as I said, it's a huge investment. The printing requires too much investment when we are putting it. So what is the simple thing is the first point is to attract customer. I'll give you a simple example. You might be doing as a travel professionals, different kind of packages you might be preparing, but how your audience are going to come to know that you have so much different destination from compared to your competitors. Now, how you're going to showcase yourself in the market? That's the travel brochure, which will help you in terms of highlight your key destination. We, as a travel professional, we cannot sell the entire world. We have our unique selling points, position, unique selling destination, which makes us different from our competitors in the competitive world in the market. So now if I have to tap myself in that competitive world as a travel professional, I should be better careful to target those set of audience, that how I'm going to use my travel brochure in terms of attracting, in terms of making myself visible in that competitive world. The first objective and the first need which is there is to attract the customer. The second is the lead generation. Lead generation is the in terms of generating the inquiries. Now, as I said, how people will come to know, or how a traveler will come to know that so and so travel agency or so and so travel professionals are selling out these kind of destination or these exotic destination. Now, the minute you have a travel brochure who will talk about your products, your services, in fact, your credibility and your brand in the market, you will start getting the inquiries. Now, travel brochure has done his job or her job, whatever, in terms of generating the inquiry. Now, it's you that you are going to convert this lead generation into the final booking, into the final confirmation. The third point, to sell the products and services. You have n number of products to sell. You have the specific supplier. For example, if I am a travel agent, I'm selling a European destination. I'm selling a destination for, let's say, Australia, New Zealand, Southeast Asia, Asia-based destination, but not necessary that I have a master in all the destination, whether it's Europe segment or Far East segment or the West US segment. I have a specific supplier, let's say for Far East, where I know that the way I am selling my package and services, nobody is going to do the way I am doing. That's the confidence I have as a travel professional, right? Now I need to see that how I can tap into the different market. Now I wanted to start doing the same fashion in the Europe, because I got a good amount of suppliers and the vendors from where I can take the services, and then I can render the services to my respective clientele or my traveler. So that will I get to know with the help of the travel brochure, where I can showcase the specific products. Now, when I'm saying the specific products, it's just not the Malaysia or the Singapore. It's the specific things to do in Malaysia and Singapore. More specifically, let's say if I wanted to go in Malaysia, in Kota Kinabalu, all of us are aware about the basic destination in Malaysia, but I wanted to highlight the exotic part of Malaysia. Now, how I'm going to talk about that? That's the travel brochure where I can have the more specification, more detailed understanding of destination, which I can sell to my respective clientele. Increase the visibility. Every day the travel professionals are coming. Some are coming in adventure tourism, some are coming into the fashion tourism, some is special interest based destination, solo traveler. We have a various themes. Now, how you're going to highlight yourself, or how you're going to increase your visibility, because the minute new entrants come in the market, that they are the threat for your business. We all, accept this fact. So now when we have to retain, when we have to survive, sustain ourselves in the market, that we can get it through the exotic power of the travel brochure. With that, we can have the better visibility by showcasing the different products and services of our organization or our travel agency. To provide information about the destination, this point I will park it for a while. I will cover this to provide information because I have a supporting slide for that. To tab in the new market, as I said, for example, I'm sitting in Bangalore, and majority of clientele, for example, I'm getting South India for a destination based, let's say European destination or Far East destination. Now, I have done the analysis that comparatively I have a low uh, a footfall or a low clientele from the North India. So what I have to do, I start circulating those kind of information through travel brochure in the other segments, maybe the North India segment, maybe the Jaipur segment in North India. So that's how it will help me in terms of promoting. As I said, when I started my session, I said it is one of the of the mark. It's just not a piece of paper or a document. It's one of the promotional tool which helps us in terms of tapping, in terms of entering in the new segment, maybe, or a new destination, maybe, or maybe altogether a different market. Who uses the travel brochure? We all uses the travel brochure as a traveler. The travel agent are the one who invest a lot in terms of preparing, in terms of strategizing, in terms of designing the travel brochure, because this is the way that they are communicating themselves with the various, either it is a B2B market, business to business, or it is B2C market, business to customer. So travel agents are the one who have a strong hold in terms of selling this destination. Now, for example, if I'm sitting in Bangalore, if let's say if I make my trip and some travel agent or a sub travel agent, we call it, it's sitting in tier 2 or tier 3 city. Now, this travel agent is depending on some of the other travel agent, which is me, who is sitting in the Bangalore. Now, how I am going to be ensure that my sub agent is able to sell the products and services the way I have decided the policy, the way we have put the conditions and the terms for those destinations. That's a travel brochure, ready-made travel brochure, which I'm going to rolling out in tier 2, tier 3 cities where my sub agents are sitting. So it helps, as I said, the travel agent is a very subjective word. So the one who is rolling out the travel brochure, the person for sure is going to use, and the travel agents who are dependent to the big travel agents, maybe in metros, and the sub travel agents who are sitting in a tier 2 or tier 3 cities. The two operators, now the travel agents and tour operators, that difference is getting narrowing down every day. Earlier, there was a time when the travel agents are the one who deals with the B2C, and the tour operator, those are the one who deals with only B2B. So tour operator one who sells the package to the travel agents, and the travel agents used to sell the package to the customer. But as we all, there is a term we call is a survival. So everybody is doing everything, whether it's a tour operator or a travel agent. So same fashion, if you are an aggregator, tour operator you can consider as an aggregator of some particular destination. In our industry is more on the specification. So there would be a one aggregator who's doing, let's say, only the Goa hotels. He is completely penetrating the complete market. So the way he or she is doing as an aggregator for a Goa market or for a Goa hotels, nobody is doing the way. So the best pricing which you can get it maybe from that specific aggregator. Likewise, we have the aggregators or tour operator for specific destinations. Now, these tour operators and these aggregators are selling these travel brochures with the help of whatever the products and services they are into it, and they're rolling out to their sub agents or their PSAs or their GSAs. We call it the privileged sub agent, or we call it the general sub agent. So like that, the tour operators they uses. Hoteliers, they have their exclusive travel package in terms of designing, in terms of rolling out, in terms of strategizing. If you see the hotel travel package, especially in B2B market, they go to the various travel agent. So for example, if I am a hotelier, any hotelier, and I have to increase my footfall, I want to increase my sales number. So what I have to do, I have to go to the multiple travel agents. Let's say if I have in charge of South India. So I need to cover the entire South India, and I have to be ensured that I am going to use this travel brochures, and I'm going to share this travel brochure with my respective B2B clientele, which is my sub agents. If you're dealing into B2C as well, then these travel brochures is again open to share with your respective clientele as well. So, but what basically happens in the hotel industry, we generally work into a B2B. So there would be a different pricing, the pricing what we sharing with our sub-agents, and the pricing what we sharing with our direct client. So that's the, we call it the agency model and commission-based model. So when you have in that kind of categories of the hotelier, the travel brochure or the specific product brochure is required to be available when you want to have an increase in your sales number or a better footfall for your property. Vendors, suppliers are the one, as I already mentioned, into the segment of B2B. For example, if you are depending on some of the vendor or the supplier, you're sitting in a Bangalore, but you are selling Hong Kong and Macau packages. Now you don't have the availability to be there in Hong Kong and Macau. You are sitting here in Bangalore. But what you're selling? You are selling Hong Kong and Macau to your Indian clientele, which comes under the outbound tourism. Now, your supplier is going to use the travel brochure, which will help you, to circulate, to roll out to your respective clientele. Again, clientele can be your B2B clientele and your B2C clientele, depending on your business line. So these are the role of suppliers, how they use the travel brochure. Again, it's a chain, supplier to tour operator to the travel agent, and then you have your end user. That's why the last point, which says the customer, which is your end user. And we are, if you think from the customer perspective, we are the traveler. We are the one who uses the most travel brochures, because we are the one that we wanted to plan for our vacations, our different holiday packages, where we find all the informations. So these are the key stakeholders, you can say, those who actually require the designing and the availability of travel brochure. And the customer is something, as a traveler, which requires the most to understand, to analyze, finally go for the final booking or a confirmation. Types of travel brochure. So here I'm not saying the online travel brochure and the offline travel brochures. So what, according to me, this is not the universe fact which I'm saying. With my own experience, I'm trying to just share my understanding types of travel brochure. Excuse me. One of the travel brochure is to inspire, or you can call it to persuade. The second type of travel brochure is to educate. So we will start with the inspire. Inspire is again, is the beauty of travel brochure, the adjective what you are using, the superlative what you are using in your travel brochure, which is persuading your reader. Okay, yahi hai destination, I wanted to go with this travel agent only. So you persuade. That's the objective of this travel agent, this travel brochure. So their objective is not to give you a different informations altogether. Their objective is to decide, to persuade your mind, your mindset, so that you can switch to the other competitors and you can switch to the respective travel professionals who is rolling out these kind of travel brochures. So the intention and the objective is to persuade the mindset. And generally, when we have the good healthy competition in the market, that's a travel brochure people generally uses in the business ecosystem. The second travel brochure is to educate. So their intention is not to pull the clientele or the customer from one travel agent to the another travel agent. So that race is not there. Their intention is to just educate, talk about, or to inform about your products and services. Maybe a destination guide or a destination understanding can be a kind of travel brochure. Now, when we say the educate, you must have heard there are a lot of intermediaries. There are a lot of guides, destination guides I'm talking about. So these are the types which comes under the educate, where the intention and objective to educate. So as I said, the first one, the objective is to have the bigger footfall of the audience. And the second is just to educate your audience and to make aware about your products and services. So that's how we got the split of types of travel brochure. Other types, the online and the offline, which it's there already available in the market by various travel professionals. The type of travelers in the travel brochure, what this point is all about. what I'm trying to say through this slide, when you have a different client, a different kind of clientele, then why there should be a common travel brochure for the entire set of population. Now you have a certain kind of people who belongs from the honeymoon categories. There are some of the people, those who look for the budget traveling. There are some of the people who are FIT, free independent travel. They wanted to go solo. Group departures we have a cruise based packages, we have a luxury premium. So let's say, for example, I just give you one example for you just to understand. If I have to roll out, if I'm targeting, if I'm as a travel professionals or travel expert, that I'm only catering the honeymooners, then I need to be very sure that what are the destinations which is good for the honeymoon traveler. I should look for a destination, for example, Mauritius, maybe for Maldives, maybe for Switzerland. Then based on that, I have to have a specific category and specific travel brochures to attract those kind of clientele. We need to understand one thing. We have a different clientele, different segment of travelers. Traveler is not a common terminology. We have a different segment. So for each and every different segment, there should be a specific travel brochure for that specific category. So how we can categorize? We categorize based on the type and the destination which suits for those kind of traveler. The second thing is a budget traveler. So let's say you have a mass traveler where you are having a travel package for, let's say, Singapore, Malaysia, or Thailand. That's the regular mass destination where a lot of budget travelers, they generally prefer those kind of destinations. Free independent, they are the highly tailor-made and the highly customized set of people. So for that, you have a specific destinations that, okay, if you wanted to go for a backpacking kind of a destination, these are the destination or these are the indicative price for all those destination. So you have to have a specific segment, or when you are rolling out these kind of travel destinations or type of travelers you are targeting, you need to have the exclusive travel brochure for those destination and for those travelers groups. As I started with the Cox and Kings, there are companies which are completely on packaging, tour packaging. So they are not a kind of OTA like Make My Trip or GoIBibo or Yatra.com. They are the one they exclusively deal in the travel package. That too in a group departures, because some people, especially when they go to the Europe destination and when they go to the West destinations, US, they prefer to be safe to travel into a group. So for group also, you cannot align your group departure with your regular travel brochures. So if you see, I'm sure most of you have worked in that industry and you must have seen that there would be exclusively group departure package, which is a fixed departure package that we have a 10 days, 11 days travel for European destination, which is departing, let's say 5th of June, then the next departure will be 10th of June, the next would be the 15th of June. That's how we fix the group departures. So for that, you know that there is a specific set of people, those who are planning to go for a group departure. So it's always recommended to have exclusive travel brochures for the fixed departures. We can call it as a fixed departure, or we can call it as a group departures as well. Cruise packages. There is a Trap Reps. These are the companies. They are exclusively dealing the cruise package. So you have a various aggregator as a travel agent. For example, you are working in a travel agency who wants to just be a niche into the cruise line segment. Now you cannot buy the entire cruise line. So what you need to do in that case, you have to connect with the various aggregators who are dealing into the various cruise. So for example, I will connect with aggregators who are the Royal Caribbean aggregator, or maybe I will connect with somebody who is the aggregator of Star Cruise. With that, I will have my collaboration. I will design my own company's cruise package, and I will only target to those who will prefer to the cruise kind of destinations. And based on that, I will be tapping in that specific segment with the help of my travel brochures, because again, the travel brochure is only going to highlight about your destination, about your various cruise lines, premium and luxury products. There is a Trafalgar's and Cosmos and Globus. They are the one who design the luxurious, exclusive, exotic, destination-based travel brochures. So I believe that many of you are aware about them, but those who are not, I just say that whenever you have time, just see their travel packages. Trafalgar, Cosmos, Globus, Monogram, they have the exclusive package. Even there are some of the destination even myself have never heard. And after going through their travel brochures, I come to know that, okay, if I have to see the Malaysia, these are the other destination I can see, not only the Kuala Lumpur or Genting Highland or Langkawi. Or, okay, let's say if this is a European destination, so apart from Paris, um, apart from Bern, or apart from the destination in Switzerland, there is other places to go. So when we are targeting the luxuries kind of products and services, not for the mass, but for exclusive clientele, we should have to have exclusive travel brochure for that specific segment or for the specific category. Continue with the previous slide. If you are doing into the cultural heritage tour, solo travel, small group tours, wildlife tours, pilgrimage and adventure, these are the niche segment. We all are seeing that the segment is increasing every day in our industry. The people are coming up with the niche segment. There would be a travel agency, they are only doing with the adventure-based activity. There would be some of the travel agency, they are only doing in pilgrimage or let's say solo traveler or for the woman traveler. The idea here is to talk about when you have a specification of the type of traveler, there should be a specification of the travel brochure as well. It should not be that the same medicine we are providing to whatever the different symptoms we have. In the same fashion, when we are dealing different clientele, should have a different or exclusive. I will not say the different word. I would use exclusive travel brochure for those set of people, because that gives a kind of impact, influence, in order to have a more materialization of your booking. Whatever inquiries you are generating through the travel brochure should have a direct align in terms of the conversion of those booking. And trust me, travel brochures plays a very, very important role when we have to roll out the various information with regards to any specific type of traveler or any specific type of destination. Now, the key factors while we developing a travel brochures, the things which we have to take care. Let me just tell one thing here. You will find a lot of online tool where you can design the layout, the paper, the main cover page and things. You will find out a lot of graphic designer which will help you. But you are the expert. You knows your industry. You know the destination very well. So your graphic designer, the person who is helping you in terms of designing the layout, will follow what you will try to inculcate in that specific person who is helping you developing the travel brochure. So here, these are the point when you as an expert, when you are designing, these are the few takeaways, or these are the few pointers we need to keep in mind, especially during the developing phase or during the planning phase of travel brochures. What was sold the most? The type of destination. Now, again, there is a competitor, like you are working in this industry. There is other travel professionals also who are actually working in the same industry. Now, how you're going to understand that which destination you should include your travel brochure? You cannot randomly choose because he or she is selling this destination as a travel professional. You need to see, you need to analyze yourself. Then in last year, this is the most preferred destination by the traveler. Now, for example, the pandemic is happening. We know we can do a kind of exercise at which are the top 5 preferred destination by the Indian traveler, domestic wise or international wise. Now, based on that, I start developing my product which I'm going to roll out through my travel brochure. The first thing is to understand the most sold destination, most preferred destination by the traveler. Now, if you are a travel agent, you know that what kind of clientele you cater. You might be catering the travel vacation kind of holiday package, family vacation. You might be catering the honeymooners. Based on that, you categorize. Based on that, you analyze that in this category of traveler, which is the preferred destination, and you need to start working for your travel brochure for that specific destination. Highest sales during which month? Every destination has its own seasonality. So look that in the month of May and June, if we talk about the outbound traveler, which are the destination or which is the top selling month that most of the people have traveled to the European sector or the Far East sector or maybe Australia, New Zealand sector. So that will give you understanding that by when you should roll out your travel brochure, so that the early you will roll out, the people in the sense the customer will understand your products and services, and based on that they can go about for their future bookings. So understand the highest selling sale during which month. If it is aligned with the Europe, generally it's happened in the May and June, which the booking starts happening from the month of January and February itself. That analysis you need to see that which is your forte, and according to your forte, according to your destination specialization, you start working on that and start circulating your travel brochures accordingly. Minimum maximum number of nights sold, that's a common stake which generally the the new entrants in the market they do. Now, for example, if I'm a client and I'm coming to you and I'm saying that I wanted to go Europe, and what will you ask that the total duration of your travel? Now, I would say that I want you to travel for 7, 8 nights, and which all countries you wanted to cover. Now, I'm saying that I wanted to cover 5 countries. Now, 5 countries in 6, 7 nights cannot be possible. But generally, what people believe, okay, if the client wants to go, let her or him go. We are nowhere to be, to decide for the clientele. But the clientele is a layman. He or she has no understanding that what is the ideal time for me to be stationed at one particular destination. Ideally, what I will do in 5, 6 destination, if I'm taking the total duration of 8, 9 nights, then I'm spending most of the time for packing, unpacking of my stuff. So when you are seeing that, that's the recommendation from you as an expert should be very clear, should be very firm, that if you are traveling for European destination, the minimum 2 to 3 nights for one destination is required in Europe itself. So be specific, be clear that how many nights should be there, minimum or a maximum. As again I said, we are the experts, we are the professional, we know that how much number of nights is good for that particular destination. For example, if Singapore, we know that 3 to 4 nights are decent enough if somebody wants to go, and based on that they can take up the other destinations as well along with the Singapore. So what I'm trying to say, these are the kind of information should be highlighted in our travel brochures when we are designing. If we are making a Europe package and we are putting one night in each where, that somewhere ourselves we are mistaken in terms of calculating the minimum and maximum nights concept for one specific destination. Otherwise, as a traveler, will not be able to justify with this package. So always analyze yourself, which is the best suitable minimum and maximum number of nights for a specific destination. Average selling price, your travel brochures talk about the pricing as well, which is the affordability of your travel. So that kind of exercise is required in your market. Your competitors, they are also selling the destination. Now you are also selling the same kind of destination. So what is the average price you would like to keep it for your products and services, which is going to be in your travel brochures? So it should be indicative, but it should not be that the price which you offered, and when the actual client is coming for the final booking on confirmation within the 2 days or 5 days, 5,000, 10,000 plus minus happens when it is a big destination. But if the variation is very high in your travel brochure in terms of your indicative price, that says that there is a some kind of wrong projection you have highlighted in your travel brochure. So think about the pricing which you are going to roll out, because pricing is one of the factor in travel brochure in terms of inducing, in terms of persuading your traveler. The categories of hotels sold. Generally, I've seen most of the travel professionals, they don't mention the name of the hotel. They just mention the 3-star. So it's always recommended that if you are putting it 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, we know that the pricing would be different for 3, 4, and 5. But at least the decent hotel, the whatever the comes best in that category in 3-star, 4-star, at least mention one hotel name which you deal and which you believe as a provider that is it is going to be a good suitable for my clientele. You can mention or similar. Let's say M hotel in Singapore or similar. If the M hotel is not available, I will ensure the similar kind of hotel category or a hotel options for your booking. So with that, you are not assuring that you are going to only give you the M hotel, because it's not a fixed departure. It is just an indicative package which you are creating, or maybe the customized package. But what you are assuring in your travel brochure, that the similar to the M hotel, if somebody will go and browse M hotel, the person will understand, okay, this is a good property under the 4-star category or under the 3-star category. So if they have mentioned or similar, that's why they are having a good tie-up with the right kind of the hotel chain. So it'll give you a kind of understanding. It's all about what understanding we are creating through our travel brochure in the mind of our traveler or our customer. So most sold hotels, again, identify which is the preferred hotel. Now we have a lot of informatories available. We are actually living in a time or era where we have all the information as a traveler as well as the professionals as well as. So find out that which is the most sold hotels in that specific destination. That's why that the people are preferring those kind of hotel properties for their stay or for their travel. So based on that, all those factors is important before we start actually developing, executing, or rolling out our travel brochure for our target audience. Identify the products for travel brochure. These are the some of the products you need to identify. We are into a country where we are we are into an industry where we are selling the services. Our services take a kind of the shape of products, so we need to be very, very vigilant when we are choosing our products for our travel brochures. So identify the destination which you wanted to sell, where you feel that you can really tap the market. The way your company is doing, nowhere in that vicinity or in that area, the way you are selling in terms of the pricing, in terms of quality. So before you are going forward, see that which destination you wanted to sell. Let's say you wanted to be specialist in adventure tourism. So find out that which are the destinations you wanted to include your in travel brochure, which promotes adventure tourism. Or for example, let's say a vacation stay. So which are the exotic destination where people are going for a kind of the concept of Airbnb. So find out that what exactly you wanted to roll out. In that, you will be more specific on the type of destination which you wanted to share with your clientele. Start sourcing suppliers or vendors. Now you have the destination, which is easy for you to decide. But you need to see that do you have the enough suppliers who can provide the prerequisites which is required for you to prepare a package or to prepare an itinerary, to make the hotel reservation, all those things. Do you have those kind of suppliers? You are choosing a destination, but there is no suppliers for with you. Then what is the point to include those kind of destination? Because if tomorrow client is coming to you, so you cannot say that it is just for making a travel brochure, but still we are identifying are the supplier. It's a little more back-end work which is required, but it is important before we go on the finalization of our, the product which we are going to put. So find out, and it's always recommended with my own experience that for every destination, you should have at least 2 to 3 service provider so that you can have a better control in terms of negotiating the pricing which you are going to propose to your respective clientele. So find out the destination. Based on that, should have a strong control with your supplier in terms of providing the services. Because especially if you're doing the outbound travel and you wanted to do the best of Europe kind of package you wanted to showcase, then you need to ensure that do you have a supplier who can provide you the sightseeing details, who can provide the hotel reservation details. So all those things needs to be checked before you go for the finalization. Do mystery shopping to understand the trends in the market. It's good to be different from others in terms of bringing the new concept in terms of the tour packaging and all that. But see, sometimes what happens, we believe that this is good, we should roll out these kind of products. But what happens sometimes, our clientele is not ready for some kind of these kind of changes. So validation is required from the customer side as well. So just check, uh, connect with, make some calls to your competitors, no harm, go and visit, find out their travel brochures, what exactly they are selling, to understand that what kind of the consumer having the mindset in terms of choosing the destination, in terms of choosing the hotel, because it will give you a kind of validation, kind of assurance, and kind of confidence that, okay, now I have done a kind of understanding, kind of a survey or some kind of validation. So I have a confidence that this would be, this product or this package will be preferred by my clientele or by my traveler. So sometimes become as a customer, you are the professionals, but somewhere we are all our customer. We buy things. So just done these kind of shopping, these kind of analysis, and understand which will help you in terms of making a final shape of your tour package or your product, which you are going to do in your travel brochure. Travel brochure will not talk anything. Whatever you will include in your travel brochure, with the validation, with the confidence, the people or the traveler are going to believe and rely on your travel brochure. Look up competitions portal, which is there on your competitors portals. Are you selling still a destinations in the hotel which is outdated in the market, obsolete in the market, or are you there with the trend which your client is looking forward? So some kind of analysis on your competitors portal is also required to understand that where you are standing in terms of the competitive world. And based on that, you will get the understanding and you will gear up that, okay, this is the area where I have to improve. This is the area I need to be little more vigilant in terms of choosing the supplier. Okay, this is the area my pricing is little higher compared to the competitors, or this is the area I'm not providing the much hotel options to my clientele. So these are the things which will help you in terms of finalization of your products, which is going for your travel brochure. Past client on tour experience, testimonials, kind of things. If you wanted to add, it is giving a kind of support to your travel brochures. So you can put all those kind of good experiences of your client somewhere, some link or whatever it's required, so that the new customer, those who are coming or those who are going to be booked first time with your organization or with your products, can have a kind of belief that they are into a safe hand. So these kind of the few identification of products is required when we are strategizing. These are the strategizing and the planning phase of a travel brochure. Skill set which is required for a travel brochure. Uh, as I said, you will find some designer who will design. But again, the person who's selling the travel brochure, the person who's going to market this travel brochure, and the person who's going to give a content or language to this travel brochure, The skill set is belongs to you. As I said, you are the expert of your own product. So research and analyze information that relates to the destination. Find out the information which is required from the traveler perspective. It could be related to visa, it could be related to the vaccination, it could be the things to do, it could be the normal law and order of that particular destination. All those understanding you should have before you are drafting your travel brochure for your clientele. The another thing is the written communication, use of adjectives, use of superlative, strong keywords, strong points. All those things is very, very important when we are writing a travel brochure, because when I am reading, the kind of confidence I am getting after reading the travel brochure is something, it's a beauty of that person or the expertise of that person who has developed, who has written this travel brochure. Now, what happens sometimes, there are some of the brochures, not necessarily the travel brochures, all of us experience some of the travel brochures we read, we keep it for some kind of the references and all that. And sometimes some leaflets come, some pamphlets come, some travel brochure, and we bin it immediately. Why we do this? There's two different brochure we got, but some we liked, some we just bin it. So that's the thing, that's the power of the travel brochure, the communication, the written communication, the content which is there in your travel brochure, the way you are writing. Again, I have a small experience connected to that. When I was working in Make My Trip, so I had a one trainee. So she was making a kind of content for the travel brochures. So she has prepared a complete itinerary. Then I said, where is the day two? We are going to start with the breakfast. So why you have not mentioned it? Then she said, it is very obvious that the day two, the person will get the breakfast. Then I said, there is no obvious. Whatever you are selling, whatever is a part of your travel package, irrespective, it look very trivial, it would look very obvious, it should be demonstrated, it should be mentioned in your travel brochure. So that is what we call the communication, the part, the products which is going to be associated with the core product, the sub products, the inclusions, all those should clearly communicated through your travel brochures to your clientele. That asterisk days are gone where we are there to imagine, okay, this is should be there, or by obviously we will get the water bottle also. Whatever you as a professionals are providing should be clearly mentioned in your travel brochure. It's the communication which you're communicating. We need to remember one thing, based on your communication, based on your inclusions, what you mentioned under your travel brochure, it is going to make the mindset of your traveler to decide or to reject your travel package or your travel products. The content, oral communication, the way you are selling, the content is there in your travel brochure, but again, it's our efforts that how beautifully, convincingly persuading our client and selling our products through our travel brochure. Content literacy, work ethics in the sense that you should not do the copy paste of the itinerary, some other travel portal, and you are mentioning in your travel brochure. So somebody have, so for example, if I'm a trainee, I'm working in some of the organization, and somebody is saying that, okay, you make one travel brochure. So what I'm going to do, I will go to the some of the competitors, let's say Make My Trip, SOTC, Case 3, and I'm doing the copy paste, and I said the travel itinerary travel brochure is ready. But what I have done, I have done the what I have done, I have just copy paste somewhere and I'm putting it. Where is my own efforts in terms of designing, in terms of creating a kind of experience which my organization is ready to do it with the client? The kind of confidence or the belief which I have promised, because if somebody has prepared and I've just taken. So have the ethics when you are writing it, mention in your itinerary, mention in your travel brochure. As I said, everything, whatever you are doing should be very well articulated, should be very well communicated. Whatever mode of communication you are using should be available in your travel brochure. Create an appealing visual products. What we see, the first thing which we, before reading, what we see, the visualization. That's why on an initial slide, I have kept two slides where we even not read what is written. We were just seeing. It was very cluttered. We were not able to see that, not able to read. So the impact of visuals is have a very strong when we are circulating, when we are designing a travel brochures. So I have when I was working in Make My Trip, there was a set of people, they exclusively used to travel to the destination and they used to take photographs of that destination. So we never felt that this is a copyrighted photo which I have taken from the Google or something like that. That's your efforts. You are making it for yourself. So you traveled, the people used to, or group tour escort or the tour manager or maybe the product development team, they used to travel, they used to take a unique pictures of that destination and used to use for their they used to keep those pictures in their brochures, for their website, for their leaflets, or whatever source they were using to communicate about their products and services. Design creativity, how you're bringing. See, one thing we need to understand, Singapore will remain Singapore, Malaysia will remain Malaysia, Europe destinations, Switzerland under or European destination, they will remain the same. It's our creativity, it's our design, it's our language, it's our content literacy, which we are adding through our travel brochures and communicating and persuading our travelers to come, select, buy, and confirm their travel booking. So I cannot change the Singapore, but I can change the way I'm presenting the Singapore through my travel brochure. So that's the power of travel brochure, that how it's going to be persuade, how it's going to be communicate, how it's going to be create a kind of belief and confidence about your products and services in the mind of your traveler. The components of travel brochures which is required is the brief summary of the setting with highlights of important. So brief summary in the sense components in the travel brochure which you should include when you're designing the complete setting, the highlights, the important segment. Their placing should be in a way that when I, as a reader, I am reading, my eyes should go straight away at that particular information or at that particular point. Location, including a map, if it is possible. Geography of that particular destination. Brochure, you are writing a brochure, then you can write a geography of that particular destination, a brief geography about that particular destination, which is required for a customer basic. But if you are mentioning as a leaflets or pamphlets, there you cannot put too much information with regards to the geography. There you can just mention a link about if you wanted to know the further information about this place. This is a link which will navigate to your next page or understanding. Major cities and well-known place is a main product of your travel brochure. So major cities, under what are the things which as a traveler I should go and I should see over there. Historic sites, any kind of landmark. For example, if I'm going and I wanted to have an Indian restaurant, I'm a very specific in terms of the vegetarian meal. So as a brochure, what I am creating, let's say for the Europe package, I should mention these are the top 5 vegetarian restaurant, and I know where my traveler or my client is going to be stay. So I know the vicinity. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a certain kind of 5-6 hotel option which is within the vicinity of that area where my client is going to be stay, so that when my client is there, the brochure is there or the understanding is there, so that the person can be easily find out the places. Recreational and outdoor activities, parks, any other thing, we cannot include in each and everything in our travel itinerary, in our travel package. We generally, based on that, the 3 nights, 1 or 2 sightseeing, for example, we are adding. And sometimes what happens, the client says, okay, you give us as an add-on options. So you add as an add-on options. If the time allows to your client, they will go and they will take up those kind of add-ons or those kind of optional, we call optional sightseeing or optional attractions with the indicative pricing, so that once they will go and they can easily, they can find out or have a clear-cut idea, if I'm taking, this is the additional amount I have to pay if I'm taking those kind of activities. Entertainment, any kind of shows, or any other things the client wants to go at a particular destination, you can just list out top 5, top 6 entertainment source for the clientele. Climate and overall weather condition, it is important because it has a seasonality. So based on that, a kind of do and don't sections we can prepare. In terms of the transportation, if the client has taken not taken any kind of transfers, and the client wants to have the local transportation once the client is over there, the kind of information you can talk about, that these are the kind of metros, these are the local buses, these are the things, kind of understanding. Arts and culture, language on local dialects. Generally, if it is a group departure, people accommodate with the tour escort or the tour manager. So it is easily handled for the clientele. But if it is an individual free traveler, English is a common language, but there's a few things, do and don'ts again in terms of the dialects, in terms of the language, so that you can put in that travel brochures to avoid such kind of jargons or such kind of words over there. Food, I've already mentioned through the restaurant, pictures and graphics to have a better understanding about that place, and additional information if it is any required with regard. These are the basic things. Not necessary that all whatever components I have showcased in this, it is should go in the travel brochure. But these are the some of the components which, based on that, our type of destination and our type of travelers, we should include in our travel brochures. The travel brochure checklist before we roll out to our customer is the product. Is the product is well defined. Now, what is our product? Mauritius is our product. 6 nights, 7 days. That's the complete product with the complete tagline, mesmerizing Mauritius, or let's say amazing Thailand. These are again the superlative which will justify, which will label your product. So have a complete check on the product is well defined in terms of having the understanding about that destination. Image of that particular destination, the high resolution image is always recommended to add on your travel brochure. Pricing. Pricing, as I said, one of the factor in terms of making the decision. So check on the pricing. Always good to have options on 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, because that's how you are targeting the different segment of your clientele. If somebody wants to go for a 3-star, there should be a 3-star pricing, 4-star or 5-star pricing. So different categories you are indicating through your travel brochures. Always good to give your understanding on travel brochure that it is on twin sharing or double sharing. Now, somebody, if it is on a triple sharing, try to provide a price on the triple sharing. The price of child, the price with extra bed, the price of child without bed, all those information should be there on your travel brochure. So that's a complete cost pricing which you need to do. As I said, if it is a family vacation, if you are targeting honeymooners, as a simple, you are just rolling out one price. But if it is a vacation traveling, then you need to be very careful. Always good to provide a pricing on twin, on triple, child with extra bed, child with no bed. Any additional charges, if they want, you should mention all those categories as well if you want. But these are the basic things you should mention in terms of your pricing. The dates in terms of the travel dates. If it is a fixed departure, you should mention, or you should mention, if let's say you have not mentioned the indicative pricing, you have mentioned the final pricing. then always mention that this pricing is valid till so and so date. Date plays a very, very important role here. Always mention the dates. We call it the blackout dates, the peak season dates. Now, for example, you have rolled out your package in the month of December, and let's say you say that it is applicable for the December travel for some destination, Maldives or something like that. Understand one thing, if it is falling on the 31st, if it is falling on 25th or 24th or 31st of 1st January, I'm talking about the month of December. These are the super peak season dates. So always mention this above pricing might be changed during the blackout dates. Maybe it will remain the same if there is a less crowd, but if it is everything is sold out, to be a safer side, because again, you are creating a belief to your client. The client should not see, your price is saying this, and now you're saying it is not available. So it's always mentioned during the blackout dates or during the super peak dates, these price may change subject to availability. This is the term which we use, subject to availability. When you will come or so and so dates, if you are making your reservation or booking, the price will remain the same. But beyond that, for those dates, the price might change. So mention the role of date is also should be clearly mentioned in your travel brochure. Terms and conditions uh, of your organization, because when you are making a reservation, you in the sense you as a travel agent making a room reservation with your supplier, with your hoteliers for your client, they have given you some kind of terms and condition that if you will cancel after this day, this penalty will be applicable, or this booking charges or this cancellation charges will be applicable. In the same fashion, we all travel professionals have our cancellations, terms, conditions, and policy. So always better to mention the terms and condition and the cancellation policies for your in your brochure. Sometimes what happens if the visa is rejected? The people believe, or the traveler believe, that if you are going through the travel agents, your visa is secured. Visa is completely on the discretion of the embassy. We as a travel agent, we cannot promise that your visa will be through. So put all those terms and conditions so that you will be in a better way in terms of dealing in case of any visa rejection happens, or because of that the cancellation is happening. You have your terms and conditions with you, which is mentioned in your travel brochure. The layout of travel brochure, in terms of finding the information, in terms of it is there in the travel brochure is too many informations are there. So all those layout, you need to think that how you're going to design your layout. So as a general public, as a general reader, I can go, I can understand, and based on that I can take my booking confirmation ahead. The market demand and supply, how you're going to take care through your travel brochures. So what is the demand you are expecting from your client? Demand in the sense the majority of people wants to travel to Goa. Do you have enough support in terms of providing the hotel room nights, in terms of the airlines reservation seats? Based on that, you need to confirm the things in your travel brochure. The demand versus the supply which you as a travel professional can provide to your respective clientele. The trending destination, you need to see that what are the top 5 trending destination, and that should be there in your travel brochure, because that's the trend. And when the trend is there, you cannot be away from the trend. Though you are a specialization in specific destination, but always see that what is the trend, what is the preferences, what is the preferred destinations and products by your customer. So that should be there available in your travel brochures for sure. Price competitiveness, check on the price, whatever price you are offering to your client versus your competitor is offering your client. If there is a deviation, what is the main reason of the deviation? Are you providing the same price for the 5-star and your competitors are providing for the 3-star or 4-star? Then you are in a better shape. But if it is the other way around, then you need to see that how you can come up with the better pricing. Maybe you have to look for the better supplier who can give the better quotation or proposal for the bookings which you are making through your supplier, and should have a strong supplier command in terms of your pricing, so that based on that you can mark up and you can roll out your final pricing to your customer. New opportunities, always look for new opportunities, that where else you can tab yourself as a travel professionals. You need to make different from your competitors. Then you need to be very, very careful that what is your unique selling point, how you are making yourself different. As I said, destination will not change. It's how we are personalization, through the personalization booking, through the better pricing, through the better quality, through the better services, different product lines, how we are involving, and then we are rolling out to our customer. How to market travel brochure? That's the last slide which I wanted to cover, and the important slide, which is because irrespective how good we are in terms of our products, in terms of pricing, again, the marketing of our products and services is very important, and that is what the travel brochures helps us. Find out the products and the suppliers. First of all, before you go for a marketing, you need to see your products and how strong you are with your supplier. If you feel I'm rolling out some destination, but I myself is not sure about my supplier, that whether the supplier will provide so much inventory for this particular hotel or for those particular airlines, then I cannot market those destinations. So I need to have a strong understanding, strong confidence from the supplier end, and then I should proceed further in terms of marketing of my travel brochure. Right audience, as I said, we have a different type of audience, we have a different type of segments. So you need to understand in which segment you wanted to introduce or you wanted to roll your travel brochure. It is for the honeymooners, it is for the vacation renters, it is for the some adventure based kind of theme based travelers. So find out where you wanted to promote. The effort should be aligned into the right direction rather to be circulate everywhere. Find out your correct audience. How would you market to them? The source, how you're going to do it. Let's say if you are working in a tier 2 or tier 3 city, probably the online will not be the ideal option. You might need to find out the other ways that how you're going to roll out your information to your respective client. Or if you're dealing with a client who the senior citizen kind of pilgrimage tourism, for example, then you should find out that how you're going to. So you cannot apply the same means for the different audience. For specific means, the specific source is required for the specific set of audience, which destination sells when, and the seasonality. So if you wanted to sell a Europe in the month of October and November, will not be the ideal time for you to sell, because that's not the time where most of the people prefer to travel this destination. When and if you are selling your European destination in the month of May and June, this is the best ideal time based on the weather condition, based on the vacation time for the students. So this is the time, this is good for the traveler in terms of the seasonality, in terms of the free time for them to choose and to book their travel. So this is what I just wanted to cover in today's session. I hope you got some understanding on the concept of travel brochure. That's it, Rohit sir, from my side. Any question, one or two questions? I am okay to take it.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, there are many questions. Okay. In the chat section, if you can access the chat section.
Give me a moment, sir. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think first question is from Rajashri Bhargava. What factors to be taken care by startups since they don't have previous claims to share while preparing the travel brochures?
What factors to be taken care by startups since they don't have, okay,
previous
since
claims.
they don't have no previous claim to share while preparing the travel brochures. So in that case, I would suggest you always need to validate your products with some of the mentors and some of the experts who are there already in the market. And that's how most of these startups, they go forward. So there are the centers, there are the experts, there are the incubators, there are the aggregators or accelerators, we call them. So there you can go, you can select, you can take their opinions, suggestions. You can go to the industry mentors as well, those who are working, have good amount of experience. So what happens, you will get a connect and you will get a check on your products and services which you are going to roll out to your end user. So that's what I will say when I was explaining that if you are a new entrant in the market, the validation is required. So you can go for kind of validations through survey. And the best idea I would suggest you, you should connect with some of the mentors and experts who have a lead in this area. I hope I have justified.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, second question is, what are the new ways and means of reducing the cost of brochures?
In the terms of the pricing of the product, or
Yes,
in terms
yes,
of
yes.
the products which we are highlighting?
No, in terms of pricing, how to reduce the cost of the printed brochures, if there are any new
Printed
means or
brochure.
new
Then
ways to that.
okay, then you need to connect with the right kind of experts or the designers, and the better negotiation skills which will help you in terms of doing the, again it depends on the bulk. See, if you're giving a bulk order or the bulk inventory, by default you will be having a better pricing. That's what I believe.
Yes, I think the use of colors, the quality of paper, and
Yeah.
if you have a contract for all of your printing and designing, a contract you have given to one agency, then obviously there will
Mhm.
be some reduction in the cost, I
Correct.
believe.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, there are many questions actually. Just a minute. How to protect the content of a very important question? How to protect the content of our brochure? Can we do any copywriting or anything?
Yes. That is what people they do, especially the big players who have a legacy in the market.
Mhm.
Their pictures, their content is all copyright, and we are living in a era where the easily you can detect that you have done the copy paste from someone's itinerary or someone else products and services. So it always good to go for a copyright thing, because that's your exclusivity which you have done in your specific segment. So ideally we should go for that.
Yes, ma'am. Next question. I believe they refer to the Ashi. Miss Ashi refers to the printed brochures. So she's asking, travel brochure is relevant and important in these times of social media marketing, with the social media apps like Instagram, Airbnb, Facebook, etc. When they are referred by more tourists, how can travel brochures compete with them?
See, again, you need to see which market you are tapping. If you are into a tier 2 or tier 3 cities where the people still believe on print media, they still feel that unless they don't have a book in their hand, they are not going to believe that this is actual or this is existing or this company is existing in the market. We have a different kind of mindset of people. So you need to see your audience, that where your what is the demographic your audience and from where they are belonging. Based on that, you need to have a different means of providing your information to your respective client. Because what happens sometimes, not necessary that all have the availability or online, not necessary that all of us are going for a print media. Some of us, we always believe, okay, online it's much better. Who will go step out and take the brochure? But wherein there are some of the clientele, as I said, specific type of traveler, you need to find the specific means of rolling out your communication through your travel brochures. So both are completely applicable, online and as well as print, which is your offline.
Yes, yes, yes. Is there any specific software through which we can prepare the voucher or a brochure in the standard manner? I mean, error-free or?
There are various providers available in the market who will help you. as of now, I don't have the name, but if you find out various suppliers are there in the market, but I will also try and I will also get it through my network. If somebody wants exclusive detail on that, you can pass on my number or details. I will find for that specific question. I mean, network, I will find it for that person.
Okay, another very interesting question. How to constantly update the information given in the brochures as they, sometimes get redundant, and at the same
Correct.
time, reprinting is very expensive. So how to do that?
That's what. It is always good to have different categories of brochures. If you are into a fixed departure kind of, that we know that the usage for this fixed departure brochures is limited for that specific time. After that, it is not going to be used. That you can just use as an information source for your new clientele. You need to see that your sales volume, it is actually getting impacted because of your travel brochure, or there is not much impact in your low sales or the sales volume of your products and services. So if it is not much, think is, because of that, if there is a not substantial down sales growth is happening in your, you don't need to go for the frequently changes in your travel brochures. But if you believe that the minute you're upgrading your travel brochures and you're bringing the new aspects of the destination, or you have identified the new sightseeing of that particular destination, then you should go about for the updation of your travel brochure. But if there is no change and so far you are selling all these standard packages and you have your regular client, I don't think so that you need to go for the frequent changes of your travel brochures. So that analysis you need to do as a provider. If any add-on is coming in your travel package on the destination, or maybe you have a tie-up with some specific hotel or some specific airline where you feel that you are breaking the market, you should straight away go for the reprinting of travel brochures and roll out. But as I said, if there is not much change in terms of the product shaping, in terms of the supplier pricing and all that, then you can stay connected with your regular travel brochure itself. But that a call which you need to take it based on the analysis.
Yes, yes, yes. And I believe at the time of printing, initial printing also, it is very important to do a
Correct.
proper proofreading, check the
Correct.
amounts, check the commas and
Correct.
dots. Sometimes if there
Correct.
is a dot at a wrong place, the
Yes.
prices
They
can
give you
change
a
and
complete
new
different
things.
understanding. True,
Yes,
true,
yes,
true.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you have already explained this, but if you can briefly tell again, how can we make brochures more attractive and unique in this competitive market?
To use the superlative adjectives, which is very, very promising. Use a nice image, which is a very, very attractive for the user. Have a more visual impact. It should not be very cluttered. So these are the few things if you can start working on it. And again, uh, have what you are selling should be exactly communicated in your travel brochure. So there should not be too much shift what actually you are going to render services and what you have promised in your travel brochure. So there should not be a much gap. I think these are the basic things that we will take care, and we have a good brand credibility if we are able to set. You are going to have good amount of inquiries and footfall for your products and services.
Okay, I think this question from Manpreet Kaur is also in continuation with this. That which brochure is more effective in terms of increasing sales and spreading awareness, printed one or non-printed one?
Again, I would say it all depends on your clientele, because you are the one, you knows your clientele. It comes on the online platform, you are getting more clientele, or you are getting a clientele where you believe that for them, for their understanding, the print media is required. So you are the better judge in terms of which means you prefer to go.
Definitely. If my father is the client, then definitely he would believe on a hard
Correct.
copy. If it is in his hand,
Correct.
then only he'll believe. For
Correct.
me, I think
Correct.
carrying a printed brochure is difficult, and I'll just ask,
Correct.
give me a soft copy.
Sure. Correct. Definitely.
Okay, who would be the correct person to prepare the brochures of state tourism departments?
State tourism department. Product, see, travel brochure, the I would say the expert the person who have traveled to multiple destination, the person who has the product knowledge, all look and corner of that destination, the person, and not necessarily that the same person has a good command in writing or in communication or in drafting things. But I think, as I said, if you remember when I presenting, you are the one who knows each and everything which is required about a destination. So you can take a help of somebody who is good in writing. For example, I'm good in terms of having a good knowledge about my destination, but I don't have a skill set in terms of writing, in terms of using all those adjectives and superlative and promising key words. So always connect. I think the product team and the marketing team always sit together, and then they should start developing and writing the travel brochure. These are the two team collective efforts. One person who has the product knowledge and the person who has a good command on the marketing words. Social, we call it the keywords which is required. So I think these two set of people can develop the travel brochure.
Okay, Madhumita ma'am is asking, in the present situation of the pandemic, what is the role of social media in providing travel brochures? Is it more important now?
Yes, it is because uh, first of all, in this pandemic situation, the people should start traveling as a taking as a vacation travel and all that. But as we are saying that we always believe actually that this industry is again to have interact in person. The customer and the provider should have the in-person meeting, understanding, because then only you can know each other very well, and you can understand what exactly clients is looking forward and kind of trust which you believe. But keeping the scenario open, which we all are aware, the social media is one of the platform where the people are actually showcasing their products and services to the extended set of people. So yes, this is a support for us at that pandemic time. And if you are rolling out, the social media is a good channel. Again, keeping your audience uh, aligned. Your audience should be available on social media whom you're targeting. That is important.
Okay, Shankar Mukherjee sir has asked a question. The question is actually in terms of hospitality. Okay, let me just reframe it in tourism context. So, okay, we would print so many photos. We will give so many photos and images on the brochure, and sometimes it can be misleading. Like, you know, you're showing a photo of five-star hotel and it's not like that, or the view from hotel, it's not like that actually, or the bus, mode of transportation. So if, you know, someone is giving these kind of photos and which are misleading, which with which the people are booking the packages. So is there any legal action which can be taken against that by
Yeah,
the
consumer
customers?
code is there if you feel that. But generally, that's the understanding, and that's the lesson for all of us. As I said, what you're promising and eventually what you're going to deliver to your client, there should not be a huge gap. So if I'm providing a 3-star property and I'm putting a property of 5-star, for sure it is a misleading. But I would say that before you are going a final booking, I think final booking, or when you are making a final payment to your travel agent, I think by that time you will come to know that which is the reality, which exactly hotel property or the airlines they are selling or they are including in your travel package. And as a rational customer, I think you can take a call at that time itself, because yes, we people they do gimmicks through the travel brochures and the pamphlets and the leaflets, but it's our rationality as a consumer and as a traveler to go and identify before we go for the further booking and a confirmation.
Yeah, and
Ma'am, I
there
have
are
a
some.
question. I'm sorry, I see the chat box. The questions are ended. I'm sorry, that would be a little rude question, but I'm very curious to know. Can you hear, ma'am?
Can you introduce yourself? I am not able to.
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
I'm Ajit.
Huh. Okay.
So the question is, I'm sorry to ask this question, but I'm very curious to know why would people book tour package instead of they can go alone and can travel. How the tour operators see the mindset of their target market? If people can go to travel by themselves, they can, the information are easily available on the internet. They can create their own itinerary, and then they can travel, they can book, everything is available online. So how they are keeping the pace with the IT revolution these days? And the second question is, I couldn't ask with Prasant sir that time. Sir, I'm doing the master in tourism. I couldn't go the ground level because of the pandemic. So, what kind of jobs I can apply for in the beginning in the travel industry? Thank you, sir.
So, with your permission, Prashant sir, can I answer the first question first? Okay, so let me just phrase it. I hope I understood your question, Mr. Rajiv. You're saying that already there are a lot of IT, information platforms are available online in terms of booking the reservation for hotel and flights. Then why there is a need of travel package? Correct? Am I right? I understood your question.
Yes, ma'am. So, yes, ma'am. Yes.
Correct? Yeah. So idea is here. How many of us are, if we see that your population in India, there are still people, those who are technically challenged or very, very needs of having the reservation or booking. Still, we are all Indians and we start planning our vacation. If I say, I'm not talking about the specific, the masses I'm talking about. We start planning our vacation after the daughter marriage, after the settlement of my son's, whatever the further education study. Let's say if I'm a 50s and I'm 60s and I'm a retired, then who is going to guide me and who is going to help me in terms of the other formalities, not just the online hotel or not just the online reservation in terms of the flight, in terms of my visa process, in terms of somebody who's coming and taking my passports and providing me visa facilities. Because when we talk about the tour package, it's just not the hotel, it's just not the flights, it's the end to end from day one. Day one, the minute I'm reaching at the airport, there would be a somebody who will be coming to pick me up. There would be somebody who is dropping me a hotel. Throughout that journey, that person will be there to accommodate. So the online mode, but still there are the good number of audience and good number of customer who still believing the beauty of travel packages. So we have living in a city like Bangalore. This is a city of travel. When the technical, experts, they book their package, and then there only when they are reaching, they take their whatever the services they want. But again, we have a clientele who have a complete belief on travel professionals in terms of curating their travel package products, so that once they are traveling, they will have a hassle-free journey for a travel. Who have justified?
Prashant sir,
Hello?
can you just
Am I
quickly
audible?
tell what are the jobs available?
Ajit, when I am working in industry in 2004, I received a call from Bangalore. I am doing my own. I running own travel agency in Satna, is a small city in Madhya Pradesh, and his mother and father is lived in Satna. He phoned me and say I earning a very good amount from my job, but I have no time. I want to earn, I want to expend so much money of my parents. I want to, they travel whole India abroad, but I have no time. I just give my time 9 to 10 hour in office, and after that 2 3 hours in my home also. Can you arrange a tour package with a local guy who travel with my father and mother? I give the whole amount of tour package and give 2000 rupees per day only, that he will go with my father and mother. You You don't think, you don't feel there is so many information on internet, everything is internet, the business is closed, people go by self. If you compare in US, UK, the internet and information is 20-30 years back from which type of information we have here nowadays. But in UK, in a street there are 2, 3 or 4 operators and travel agents only in a street. In India is a population of 135 crores, and so many people not have a good internet, good mobile, good laptop, and so many information. So if the business is not stopping, is running on an end, and we are receiving only about 0.85% tourist in our country, and lots of scope. Don't worry. And ये पैंडेमिक हमेशा नहीं रहेगा कि आपको जॉब नहीं मिलेंगी. अभी अब फिर से 2 महीने बाद there is a lots of jobs. So don't worry, you complete your PG, and after you have a scope, join a job in industry. Lots of vacancies are there. Don't worry.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. But what kind of jobs they provide? Like initially on the stage, we is just a newcomer and stepping into the industry. What kind of minimum jobs are available for them?
The qualification is PG or UG is okay. That you attend this type of workshop, FDP program, where you occupy the skills of tour packaging. In class, you go through the tour packaging skill. You lead hotel management. You have a paper of tour guiding and escorting. In starting, you get a job as a travel consultant. You pick the phone, you talk the customers. In not in day first, you are preparing the packages and sell the packages. You just talk the customers. You pick the phone. You go to airports to pick the guest. You talk to guest, and after that experience 1 to 2 years, you are experting in preparing itineraries, selling the packages. In 1 to 2 year, you are just learning so many things. And that's why in our courses we have provide summer trainings, on the job trainings, where you learn lot of things from the industry. And most of the universities now they provide the lectures from the industry persons. So you have the experience in you get the job in tourism industry as a tour consultant, as a tour executive in starting. Ajit,
Okay.
it's
Thank you
okay?
so much, ma'am, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I think with that, we are through with the questions. So thank you very much, ma'am. You yourself can see in the chat section that so many participants have applauded and given feedback to your session. Thank you so much. I don't need to say anything else because the participants' responses are saying all these things. How good the session was. Yes, some of the participants are asking that you can share the if you can share the PPT and
Yes,
your
yes, I will
contact
share. I will
as well.
share the PPT to you, sir, and then you can
Sure, sure.
share
It's
with the
already with me.
participants.
I will share with them on the group.
Yes.
And some of the participants are also asking for your contact with which they can connect with you.
I'll mention in the PPTs. Yes, 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 yes.
Sure.
You can share the PPT itself. Thank you so much. It was
Sure,
a
sure, sure.
wonderful audience for appreciating and for having the questions. And it was a very interactive question. Sometime otherwise, what happens as a speaker, we are finishing and there was no question. So it feels like whatever we have spoken doesn't make sense, I feel, but as a lot of people have come up with the very, logical questions. Thanks for, to have a very interactive session. Thanks again to the entire FDP staff for conducting such a wonderful session on travel brochure. Special thanks to Dr. Prashant and Dr. Rohit for arranging for this big opportunity for me in FDP ATAL. So thank you so much once again.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shah.
Thank you, sir. I shall leave now, sir. Thanks.